It's my final day of vacation today, and it's time to set up my first work week. So I have my my ruler, and I'm setting it up. I'm setting everything up in gold because it's August. And to my mind, August is gold. So if you watched my videos before, you know that all my weeklies look the same, except for these tiny mishaps. You know, things happen. Sometimes I think it's just as well that you make a mistake immediately, because then you don't, I mean, either you can't handle it and you burn your book, or you just sort of relax and think, fuck it. And I'm choosing the latter because I like this book. I don't want to burn it. Yes, so my weeklies all look the same. I wish this pen still worked. Well, it sort of works, but it's losing color. I guess I can try, but this is still wet. Anyway, I've found my setup that works, and let's see. I can use some paper to protect it. And it helps me focus on the right things if I have the same setup every week. When I bullet journaled for a few years, I tried different setups each week, and many of them distracted me, which wasn't good because I'm distracted enough as it is without help from stuff. But I found this structure that I like. I have my days to the left and a brain dump space to the right within my monthly booklet. So August has already, you know, we've done 1 week. So I have 4 pages for all the weeks in August. I've already put the what's called, the numbers of the weeks here. But after that, I have my next action spreads, which are also, I mean, they're divided by week, so, and by context. And now I actually don't remember because it's a month since I did any work, you know, work. So I don't remember what all these tabs stood for, but I think maybe this is contact people, you know, lists of things I need to tell people, email stuff, assessing things. One is listening to things, one is computer stuff, and one is the IQ list. Yes, the easy stuff that you can do even though you're really tired. So I have one spread for each context for the whole month, and they're all divided into 4 parts because well, you know, it's for each week. And now I realize as I look at it that I actually don't need the first quadrant because, you know, I didn't work this week, so that's a bit of a conundrum. I don't know, do I begin with week 32 here and leave this space empty, or do I leave this one empty? No, I think I'll do it this way. I put my first work week in the top left one. So week 32, 33 and 34. And after that I will flip to September and make new context lists. But this will be kind of free space for if I need more space, I guess. Because these first weeks are probably, they're going to be quite busy. Because, you know, you're starting everything up again after your vacation. So I wouldn't be surprised if I need more space for next actions than what I've given myself in these quadrants. So, you know, some white space is not bad to have. But each spread I put the number of the weeks. There we go. But I will wait until tomorrow to put in the next actions because I don't work today. I'm just setting things up, so I feel like I'm on top of things. So these are the work next action tabs, and this one is the home next action tab. And here I've still divided the spread into 4 parts, but not according to week, because my home tasks aren't that time specific. So instead I've put all my contexts in the quadrants instead. So online and phone, fix, which is like just fixing things at home. So it's all home stuff. Village, you know, the village where I live, errands I need to run, and town, the nearest town, things I need to go into town to do. So this worked last spring and I'm continuing to do the same thing. I've started using my trackers, obviously. I've talked in another video about trying to keep up a put the dishes away habit, and it's gone quite well. I had 2 days here where I didn't do it, but that was because I didn't do the dishes, so there were no dishes to put away because we were in the cabin and it's kind of fiddly to wash the dishes there, so I tend to wait for a few days until there's a big batch. So I don't consider these days as failures, but as, you know, changed circumstances. And it's very, I mean, it's easy to find excuses for not doing your habit, and it's a fine line between actual circumstances that, you know, like force majeure, and, you know, just excuses. But as soon as we came home again, I started with the habit again, so I guess I don't feel like I've fallen off the wagon. I haven't done it today because I slept late and there weren't any dishes yet, so I've put some in the dishwasher and I'm waiting for it to finish. So then I'll do my habit today, don't you worry. So when I start working tomorrow, will I know what to do? Well, I'm considering my first day to be the day when I, you know, get up to speed, check things and just reacquaint myself with everything, all my projects. But I will start by putting things from the calendar on the weekly spread. So let's see, I have my red project here on Wednesday, 10 o'clock. It's a meeting. So I put the time, what the meeting is about, with whom, and a thing I have to sort of check or sort of do, or research or whatever. Something I need to do before the meeting. So everything is included, all the information on the day. Oops. Dropped my pen. And then I have a doctor's appointment at 11:15, which means this meeting has to end at 11 at the latest, which will be a what's it called? Challenge. Also on Wednesday the garbage truck comes, so we need to, or it comes on Thursday, so there's also a meeting, like a town meeting, that we're not sure if we want to go to. But maybe. So I put that in pencil. What else? Well, Thursday is a deadline. A deadline for home stuff. And I should say I'm using this purplish pink color for everything that's got to do with home. Now that I am no longer on vacation, I need to separate work and home, so everything home related is purple. But work things, each project at work has its own color, so yeah, it can sound complicated, but I'm used to thinking like this. If I see something on the calendar or on the weekly in purple, I know it's got to do with home stuff. All the other colors are different projects of work, but when I go to my home project spreads, I have different colors for all those things. Yeah, so just, I don't know if that was clear, but let's see, Sunday is the day when a lot of, summer attractions close. So if we want to do summer stuff, go to, I don't know, parks or whatever, things, we need to do it Sunday at the latest. And let's see, there's also oh wait, I don't need to put that. I need to. There's a deadline on Sunday for other people, which means I have to check things next Sunday when they have handed in stuff. I don't need to do anything on Sunday because the deadline is not for me, but I need to deal with it next week. So that's why I put that on Monday. Was that everything? Oh yes, I never wrote this. I only talked about colors. There are a couple of presents that we need to give people who are moving away, so they go on Friday, so Thursday we need to give them their presents. So tomorrow when I start working, I will go through all my project spreads represented by these tabs to see what I need to do this autumn. It's stuff for the whole autumn. It's until January actually. So for example, this project, I will read through what I need to do, and these are sub-projects, all of them, so I need to break it down even further into next actions and put those actions on here, on these spreads that I just prepared. And I will do that based on when things need to be ready, because not everything, like this is a project that actually starts in, I think, November, which is something I need to check as well. Check the start and stop dates for all these projects. So, which means that maybe there are a few things I can prepare already and put on my next action lists now, but a lot of it I can leave for later. And for example, this turquoise project will start very, very soon. So I need to get on top of that and write down all the sub-projects here and make next actions for my lists. So tomorrow will just be, you know, checking my email, replying to everything, getting to inbox 0, going through all my projects, deciding what needs to get done during August, putting those next actions on the right context and the right week. And I think that will be it, actually. I don't really think I will be doing any actual work tomorrow, although, you know, according to the GTD ideology, I guess, planning for work is also work. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I won't be asking anything more of myself because there's such a lot to keep track of that I really need to let myself spend time on that and sort of digest everything. Another thing I wanted to talk about a little bit doesn't have to do with planning but with journaling, because I do everything in the same book, as some of you know. So the planning section here is separate from the journaling section. And I have now been journaling for 8 days, because it's the 8th of August today, and I started this on the 1st. So I have a few headings here at the front, like today's bonus, wins, looking forward to, blah, blah, blah. And I've put tabs on the pages I've started. But one thing that I really wanted to talk about a little more and sort of promote, I guess, is journaling about your project areas, things that you have going on in your life. Because I was very unsure for the longest time what to journal about. I felt like it was boring. I lead a boring life. There's nothing to write about. But I do, you know, I don't value like just writing down, I did this and this today, I took a walk, you know, that's boring. But I do value my thoughts about that. I mean, it sounds so obvious when I say it out loud, but you know, I need to get at sort of the feelings or thoughts or ideas that surround everything I do, everything I have going on. So actually basing my journaling on my project areas, the ones I actually have in my Someday Maybe section, all these tabs, you know, like cleaning and renovation and car stuff and travel and food, all those things I journal about. So I've put a heading for each, let's see, no, oh, it's the wrong tab, cleaning. I put cleaning as my heading. I dedicate a spread to cleaning, and then I don't write about cleaning every day, but I have the option of doing it, so I put the date and just write about whatever's on my mind pertaining to cleaning. So, for example, I wrote about not doing the dishes and why I didn't do that, and, you know, fearing that I will fall off the wagon. Then I wrote about, the next day I wrote, well, today I did the dishes, so go me, blah, blah, blah. Then I wrote about hoovering the cabin, which I didn't do, but I wrote about it because, you know, it crossed my mind that maybe I should. And it's just a way of gathering your thoughts about something. And it's really mundane, it's cleaning, but instead of sort of carrying it inside, you can get it down on paper and maybe figure some things out in the bargain. I figured some things out, but I don't remember what. I know there was something that really helped. Well, ooh, yes. I journaled about being in the cabin, and while I did so, I realized, because I was sort of writing about the good things about the cabin and the bad things about the cabin. The good things are feelings of freedom, and bad things are feelings of restriction. And I realized that I don't want to be in the cabin right up until I need to go back to work. I need sort of a buffer day or two. I need to be alone to just sort of land on my feet and just be by myself and gather my thoughts and do whatever I want to do, and not sort of being obligated to have fun or be with people. So by journaling about the cabin, I realized this, and we went home a little earlier than we had, planned to, and I got an evening by myself yesterday, and it was really good. I was really tired, and I needed to binge watch The Good Doctor, basically, in bed. So, I mean, the Someday Maybe list about the cabin has to do with our projects there, things we need to fix, creative projects. So I could have written about that, but as I wrote, I got at something else that was bothering me that I maybe wouldn't have thought about if I hadn't journaled about it. But by having this starting point, these projects that you have sort of on the back burner, you can figure things out. And another example of that was writing, because I'm a writer of sorts. I have published stuff, but it's a long time since I wrote anything. So I wrote about writing because I still have ideas, and I've talked in other videos about my world building, my fantasy novel that will take 20 years to write, and I don't care. But I journaled about writing and realized that maybe it's not writing that should be my priority right now, but world building, I already know that's the most fun part of it right now. But maybe I have this urge to structure my story and sort of just, like a chessboard, you put out all the pieces, and I want to do that. And I've sort of thought that to do that, I need to write the chapters, because otherwise I don't know what the story is. But then I thought, maybe not. Maybe I can just write, put the headings of the chapters and put this will happen, and just leave it like that. Because normally I would feel obligated to write, in past tense, third person, and do all the bells and whistles. But maybe I don't have to. Maybe I will never write an actual book, but I do want to structure the story. So maybe just put bullet points beneath each chapter and leave it like that, because that in itself is fun for me, and I don't need to write this or publish this because I've abandoned the idea of becoming a full-time author. But making the world come together and work both geographically and temporally, that in itself is a fun hobby. So, maybe tone it down a bit. And I don't think I would have thought of that either if I hadn't journaled about it. So that's my tip for the day. Base your journaling not on prompts online, because they have nothing to do with your life. Well, you can, of course you can. Maybe you're really inspired by prompts. I've tried, I'm not. But I am inspired by my project pages, my Someday Maybe lists, because those are the areas of my life that I try to work on and that I have ideas about. So, you know, you start with something that you care about and go from there. One final thing, I might change my Someday Maybe insert. It's too thick. I mean, I bought this notebook because it spoke to me. Okay, it's gold, but the it's lined and it's only got like 24 lines, and that's not enough. Not with this amount of pages. So I've filled the whole book with Someday Maybe lists, and it's already sort of, it's too small. I need more pages, more lines. And it's still too thick. I don't really like the, the bulk. So I'm thinking I might rewrite all those lists again on scrapped signatures from Leuchtturms. Like, this is just pulled out from a Leuchtturm, and the paper is thinner, I think. It lies more flat than this notebook because it's all of these pages are folded. It's just one fold. It's just one signature, which makes for a lot of bulk here. And these lie more flat. There are like 37 boxes vertically, so there's more space to write projects. And I think a couple of these signatures would be enough for all my Someday Maybe lists, and that would take up less space than this notebook. So I might change that. And another thing, in order for those or that insert to fit my traveler's notebook as well, which is narrower, I might cut off a piece or do this from Moleskine pages instead, because I want to be able to migrate my Someday Maybe lists, and why not make them narrower to begin with? That way I don't have to use other inserts for narrower books. I don't know if that makes sense. Hang on. This is what I'm talking about. This is my TN that is narrower than a regular Leuchtturm. So if I have written, let's see, all my Someday Maybe lists in narrow inserts for this setup. But it stresses me out to have different Someday Maybe lists in different setups. When I change setups, I do update my Someday Maybe lists. I did that with this one when I moved out of my July planner. But it just feels like there are holes in the system, you know. I don't feel safe. And GTD is meant to make you feel safe, that you have control of everything and nothing will fall through the cracks. And having different Someday Maybe lists makes me feel like something will fall through the cracks. So whatever I use as a Someday Maybe insert, it needs to fit this one as well, if at some point I want to move into this kind of setup. So then I was thinking I might use this Moleskine Expanded that I bought on a whim and pull out signatures just like I pulled out this one, unused pages from my notebook, and write my Someday Maybe lists here instead, because then it would fit this one, it would fit this one, it would be narrower, so it would sort of end here, but that doesn't matter. That's fine, you know. And it would be the same one. I would transfer the same Someday Maybe insert into whatever book I was using. And speaking of that, I did make a change to the binder. Just a minute again. The binder that I set up in case I want to, you know, move into a binder instead. So I was thinking to begin with that I would transfer this Someday Maybe list here. But if I make a narrower one, I will transfer that one instead. But my first thought was to use elastics and just like almost like a TN, you know, you hang the book off a thick elastic or broad elastic to make it stick, I guess. But then I realized that this binder is covered with, I mean, this is cardboard inside here, and this is some kind of plastic faux leather, and you can cut a hole like this and use it as a pocket to put your insert in. And of course you can keep the elastic just to keep it in place so it doesn't flop about if it's information you don't check every day, because then you'll get fed up with it. Or you just, okay, you can leave it like that. You know, you need to close it because it flops open. But so that, I think, was kind of a stroke of genius. And here at the back, it's the same thing. I cut a hole and I put a journaling insert, junk journal stuff, into the back cover. And I put an elastic to keep it in place. Oh, wrong way around. So yes, always tweaking the setups, but never abandoning my basic system. It's the same thing, whatever the book looks like. So I guess if you want to see how I use it, and if you want something like functional and pretty-ish planning that is consistent with one basic idea, that is getting things done, but still some, I guess, variation, because I get bored and change setups and stuff, then you might like to see more videos from me. But if you don't like rambling, don't bother. So if you hated this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs down. And if you don't want to see more content from me, don't forget to tell YouTube to stop recommending it.